minute.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I was wanting to see if I could speak to the manager, please.
I'll just see if she's available.
Thanks.
Yeah, Paula, are you available? There's someone out here who would like to speak to you. Oh, okay, not a problem. If you'd like to just take a seat, Paula's busy at the moment and she'll be with you when she can.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi William, what can I do for you?
Oh, I just want to come back and just say sorry for the way I acted in my interview. I didn't really dress appropriately, but I just want to show you that I really want the job, and I just asking if I could maybe have another shot.
Your interview was very disappointing.
Yeah.
You were not punctual, you weren't dressed well, and your attitude wasn't actually that great.
And I wasn't taking it really seriously at that time, but I really want to show you that I can do it seriously. So I got a haircut and I wore a bit of clothes, and hopefully I could have a go.
Okay, I can see that you really want this, so what I'll do is I'll go away and I'll think about this and I'll have a chat with Donna and we'll be getting back to you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
No worries. Thank you so much.
No problems. Nice
Bye.
to see you. Bye.
Hi, Will speaking.
Hi Will, it's Paula here from Sport and Rec. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks, Paula.
Well, I've just rang to let you know that I've had a meeting with Donna and we've decided to give you a go.
Oh, awesome.
So, just like we were talking earlier, punctuality and proper clothes for the job, as well as a good attitude and good communication is really important.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely. I will make sure I talk, and if I have any issues or any questions, I will definitely ask.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're excited to have you. Can you start on Tuesday at 8:30?
Yep, sure thing, no worries.
Look forward to having you.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi Will, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'm really excited for my first day.
Excellent. We've been waiting for you. We're about to go down to the basketball courts and I'll introduce you to Quanta.
No worries, thanks.
I'm through here.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, good morning, Paula. You must have the new kid with you.
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Hello, Will. I'm Dan. Good to meet you, man.
I'll leave you with Dan today.
Thank you so
and
much,
we'll be
Paula.
training you. See you later, guys.
Cheers, Paula. Have a good day. Welcome, bro. How are you?
Yeah, a bit nervous.
Oh, I bet you are. First day, the first day jitters.
Yep.
Look, it's a really good day today. As Paula said, the first crew's in about half an hour, and I've just got 3 or 4 drills that I've got set up that I'm going to teach you to teach them, basically. Look, there's a couple of really key points that I want you to keep in mind because you do get nervous on your first day and you focus on other things. I just want your communication to be really clear, because the clearer you are with the kids, the more confident they're going to be in you, okay?
Sure.
That, and just have fun with it and always ask questions. If you don't know, I'm right here, okay? Or
Sure.
Paul is only a phone call away.
Yep.
It's really important. First day at work, you want to make a good impression. You'd rather get something right, even if it takes a bit longer, than get something wrong because you wouldn't ask a question. So I'll just run through a little role play with you for when the kids first get here, okay? So, see this D here?
Yep.
We're going to get everybody to sit inside the D, and no one's, and there's not going to be any more instructions until everyone's being quiet, okay?
Awesome.
And then you're going to go through without saying anything and just 1, 2, 1, 2,
Yeah,
number
sure.
everyone in the D. So what are you going to do?
So once everyone comes in, I'm going to get them all to sit into the D, and then I'll number them 1, 2 until I'm all done with all the kids.
Perfect. Now, do you see what I did there?
Yeah.
I explained something to you, and then I asked you to explain it back to me. So now I know that you know.
Awesome.
All right? That's how we're going to do it this morning. But first, we've got to sweep this place up a bit before the kids get here, and that means a shootout from the throw line.
Okay.
Last one to get it in has to do the sweeping.
All right.
Let's go. You're sweeping, Will.
All right, let's do this. Hi, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I was very lucky to get a second chance at that sport and rec job, wasn't I? This week's episode was all about communication, and here is this week's worksheet. And as always, leave a comment on our Facebook and YouTube, and have a great week. See you next time.
Hello, it's good to have you watching another episode of Yirara2u. Last time we had the story of the Holy Spirit coming to the disciples, the followers of Jesus, in the story of Pentecost. Did you know the Spirit of God was there at the very beginning? Before we hear the story, let's pray.
Father God, we thank you for the blessing of another new day. The blessing of the sun to warm us, the blessing of food to eat to nourish us, the blessing of family and friends. Help us to have a great day, Lord. Help us to remember each other at Yirara, no matter how far apart we are. Help us to enjoy our schoolwork. Help us to get it done. If we have problems, to get help. Be with us, Lord, today. Amen.
It's interesting to look at a globe of the earth, to look at where we live on this earth. I like to watch the globe spin. The earth keeps on spinning around and around, like it has since the very beginning. Let's read from Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was shapeless and empty. The Spirit of God hovered over the waters. The first thing that God created was light. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Then God thought, there needs to be a space to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters on the earth. So God made a space to separate the earth from the heavens. He called it sky. Next, God brought all the waters of the earth together to make the oceans and seas and to create dry land between them. Then God said, "Let the dry ground be covered with every sort of grass and plant and trees for food and shade." Everything God said happened as he spoke. All kinds of grass, plants and trees grew with their own seeds to grow more. God saw all the beautiful trees and flowers and said, "That's good." On the fourth day, he created the sun, the moon, and the stars. They were beautiful. Day and night, the seasons and years began. Then God created the birds and the fish. He blessed them and told them to multiply, so that the sea would be filled with fish, crabs and turtles of all shapes and sizes, and the air would be filled with beautiful birds. On the sixth day, God made all the animals, the hopping kangaroos, the stripy zebras. He made the cuddly kittens and the big ferocious lions, the buffaloes and bullocks. He created all the different animals. God looked at them, smiled and said, "That's good." Finally, God made people. God said, let's make people in our image to take care of all living creatures on the earth. When God had finished, he looked at all that he had created and he said, that is very, very good. All of God's work was finished. On the seventh day, he rested. God blessed the seventh day and called it holy, a day to rest and worship him. Something to think about. Take time to look around. What is your favourite part of God's creation? Draw a picture or send us a photo of your favourite part. Remember, it's our job to take care of the earth. Until next time, may God be with you and your family.
Comfort, comfort all my people with the comfort of my word. Speak it tender to my people. All your sins are taken away.
What's up, Yirara fam? It's Miss Tina here, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Yirara2u. So for today's art lesson, we're going to be drawing a room, but just with the 1 point perspective. But before we do that, we're going to be needing a few things from our special pencil case. Got it! So, the first thing that we're going to be needing is some paper to draw with. We're going to also need a ruler to rule out our lines. And, of course, we're going to need something to draw with. So we're going to need a pencil, and if you make mistakes, a rubber. So, let's get by with Priscilla and let's get drawing. Bye now!
Okay, the first thing that I'm doing is I'm ruling my horizon line and marking out my vanishing point. That's going to be the line that all of our lines will go back to. I'm marking out a rectangle, which is going to be the back of our room, so the back wall. And then through each of the corners of this, I'm ruling a straight line that goes back to the vanishing point. I can then mark out a line which is going to be the top of our door. And this line here is going to be the top of what is going to be a table. At any point that you need to, because this video has been sped up, you can press pause and do these steps. So the legs of my table, and you can see that I'm just using a grey lead pencil to do this. It's really important just to use a grey lead, and when you're really happy with your lines, you can go over them. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting in the floorboards, and again, I've marked out some lines and I'm just leading these back through to the vanishing point. So those lines give the illusion of depth. And I'm happy now with my table, so I can go over those legs. So you can start to see the room taking shape. So I'm happy with these lines, so I'm just going over them. and door handle. We can start to put some finishing touches on. And I'm going to put a window. Lines leading back to the vanishing point. And I'm also going to put a window on the back wall of my room, so I can start to rub out some of those lines. It's really important when you do this just to press really lightly with your pencil so that you can rub out the lines and you don't get a mark on your page. So this is going to be my window frame. And now I can add some finishing touches. A light coming from the ceiling. And some flowers on the table. So if you attempt this, some shadows, final shadows. If you attempt this, just remember, press really lightly with your pencil and press pause whenever you need to. And definitely use a ruler to get those lines really straight. This is the fun part. And there is our room in 1 point perspective.
Good afternoon, Miss Sophie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Mr. Mark. How are you?
Oh, all the better for seeing yourself. Right, what we're looking at today is we want to know why it's important to get the correct change. When you go shopping and you give over your notes or you give over your coins, why is it important to get the correct change?
It's important to get the correct change because you don't want to get ripped off at the shops and you want to have that extra money to save up to buy something else.
Now, yesterday we looked at 2D shapes, which are shapes that we can draw pretty much like these on a piece of paper that are flat. Now today, we're looking at 3D shapes. Now, for example, 3D shapes are shapes you can hold in your hand or use in our world, like a box or even a basketball. We have special names for these shapes too. Instead of just calling this shape a circle, it's actually called a sphere because we can touch and play basketball with it. And instead of calling this shape a square, we call it a cube. You see, when shapes leave a page or a whiteboard and become things that we can stack, pack, or play with, they become three-dimensional. Like I said, for example, we call squares, if they're three-dimensional, we call them a cube. Or for circles, we call them a sphere. And if something resembles a triangle, we call them a pyramid, like the pyramids in Egypt. These are just the special names that we call them when they're not written on a page. Have a go and see if you can spot any of these 3D or even 2D shapes in your communities.
Steve here is going to be our guinea pig. I'm going to draw something on his back And he's going to then transfer that onto the paper. Okay, Steve, so what two shapes have we got there?
Rectangle.
Yep.
Triangle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I drew. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Now, for those who don't know, we've got the Rubik's Cube, all the different sizes, all the same colour. And we're just going to mix this all up. We've got no knee here. This is no knee here, and then I'm no knee as well. So ready. And then when it comes down, it's going to be in the right way. Is that correct? And then, and is that correct? Oh, Anne Marie, look at this. And we are witness. We are witness.
Not something like the other ones. Oh!
Whoa!
Oh!
Hi, welcome back. Our words of the week this week are 2D shapes and 3D shapes. What do you think the D stands for? D stands for dimensions. Dimensions is spelled D-I-M-E-N-S-I-O-N-S. Dimensions. It's a pretty long word, but all it means is that there's two parts in a 2D shape that we can measure, or three things in a 3D shape that we can measure. Do you want to have a look at some? These are some two-dimensional shapes. 2D shapes are anything that we can draw on a piece of paper. They're flat. They have length and they have width. The most common ones we use are circles, rectangles, triangles, or ovals. These are all different two-dimensional shapes. Now, if we look at three-dimensional shapes are solid. Things like a sphere or a soccer ball, a cube, a cylinder, or a rectangular prism. So a three-dimensional shape is anything solid that you can pick up because it has length, it has width, but it also has depth. So that's the 3 dimensions that we can measure. Why don't you have a look for some shapes around your community and send us in some photos, and we'll have a look at these a bit more tomorrow. Bye for now.
Wooda! Welcome back
to a deadly episode of Word of the Day.
And today's word of the day is
Lura, meaning creek or river.
How do you say creeks or rivers in your language?
Have a go at saying Lura, and we'll see you mob next time. Bye!
Bye!
Laura.
Laura.
Right. Good afternoon, dear Mom. Now, Miss Katie and Miss Emily did a wonderful job sorting out the conversation between Elsa and Olaf. But before we get there, let me tell you what we are going to be doing for the next few times when we see each other. Our new topic is all about trying to persuade or convince someone or some people to do what we want them to do. That is what we call persuasive writing. So let's have a look. Persuasive comes from the word persuade. Like Olaf is trying to persuade or convince his mom that their dog Sven needs a friend. Now, that doesn't help us at all, really, because we still don't know what is happening between the Oreo and the hook. So, to help us figure that one out, we're going to cut and listen to what Elsa told Olaf about the Oreo and the hook. Let's take a listen.
Now, Olaf, if you want to convince Mum, you have to think about an Oreo.
Elsa, I don't want to eat an Oreo. Please stop making jokes.
No, Olaf. It's just to help you remember what to say. I just listen to the song and it will help you understand what Oreo is all about.
Oreo, O stands for an opinion. Oreo, it's the first thing you need to write. Oreo, R represents your reason. Oreo, your feelings, beliefs, why do you think you're right? Oreo, E stands for evidence. Oreo, which are facts that support how you feel. Oreo, oh finally restate your opinion. Oreo, now it's ready to dive into this world of milk. I'm brave, gonna speak my mind. Oreo, make a change one day at a time. Oreo, if you're going to change the world, you better start with an opinion. Going to change the world, we better start now.
Hey, look, I have become an Oreo. Hey, you heard the song. It's all about using an Oreo. O for opinion, R for reason, E for evidence, and O for opinion again. Right, that's our Oreo. But we still have no idea about the hook. How does the hook fit in with the Oreo? Okay, let me explain to you. When do we use a hook? When we go fishing. What must be on the hook? A good piece of bait so we can catch the fish. Now, same with your hook here. That refers to our first opinion. It has to be interesting. It has to capture the audience. So if Olaf wants Sven to have a friend, he needs to think up of something very interesting to say so that his mother can listen and understand. Right, so that is for the hook, is for our first opinion. See you next time as we go through the rest of Oreo. Bye-bye.